Hey guys, it's me, Vinny. I'm back with another video. I want to talk about the Week 12 that was in the NFL. Now let's start off, like I said in my previous video, Thanksgiving. I already explained it there, so go watch that video if you haven't seen that already. I was 3-0 in those. Rest of the season, rest of the week, I was 10-6, so I'm 104, 75, and 1 for the year, so looking pretty good. Continuing to build up above 500 more and more as the weeks go on. So 1 o'clock games, I was incorrect for picking the Broncos to beat the Panthers. But that says a lot more about the Broncos than it does me. Like, this Broncos offense, if they scored like 17 points or 18 points a game, they'd have 8 wins so far. But they're 3-8. They're 3-8. This offense is absolutely abysmal. Russell Wilson got his 300th touchdown of the season, and it just felt like there was no air in that balloon. Like, who cares? You're already down by 20 points with like 4 minutes left to go of the game, and that had so many stalls that it didn't even feel rewarding in the end. I mean, Carson Wentz has more touchdowns than Russ, and Carson Wentz hasn't played a game since week 6. Week 6. And they're stuck with him for the next 4 years. Oh my God, this has to be at the worst contract in NFL history, or at least recent NFL history. Because who's going to want him? Who's going to want him with that salary? No one. None that I can think of. Oh, good God. The Panthers, with Sam Darnold as their quarterback, was able to beat them. At least they got their revenge from Super Bowl 50, I guess. I was also incorrect in picking the Buccaneers to beat the Browns. The Browns ended up winning in overtime. It's a weird coaching decision by Todd Bowles, not trusting Tom Brady, who's been perfect in the red zone this entire time in overtime. It's just remarkable. I was also wrong again for picking the Ravens to beat the Jaguars. The Jaguars came back late and won against the Ravens. Is one of Trevor Lawrence's best games of his career. It definitely shows that with a lot of compare what Trevor Lawrence has compared to what Russell Wilson has. Trevor Lawrence has less talent around him and is able to ball better. Meanwhile, Russell Wilson, yeah, his offensive line isn't great, but his defense, he lets down his defense every single week, and he's completing under 60. He's completing like 58, 55% of his passes. That is atrocious. I was correct in picking the Dolphins to beat the Texans. They absolutely destroyed them. They absolutely just completely obliterated them, top to bottom. And also the Jets under Mike White show some life against the Chicago Bears. And, a playoff position is still a play for them, while the Bears currently would have the 2nd overall pick if things were to end today. At least they have their pick, unlike the Broncos. Let's ride. They would have the Seahawks would have their 4th pick. The Titans were not able to get their revenge against the Bengals. Derrick Henry was mortal against them, and the Bengals won 20-16. I was also correct on the meanwhile of picking the Commanders to beat the Falcons. Commanders now currently have the 7th seed in the playoffs, which means that if the season were to end today, every single NFC East team would make the playoffs. You'd love to see it. For the 4 o'clock games, I was correct in picking the Chargers to beat the Cardinals. They did it on their last drive in the game. 2-point conversion for the win. And I unfortunately picked the Seahawks would beat the Raiders. Josh Jacobs had over 303 yards, total yards, including a game-winning touchdown drive that was like 80 yards run. Oh my God. It was not the game that we saw 4 years ago. The Chiefs spanked the Bryce Perkins-led Rams. Listen, at least they won the championship last year, because their 1st-round pick now belongs to the Lions. The 49ers shut out the Saints. It's the first time the Saints have been shut out in 2 decades, also against the 49ers. I mean, I understand Dalton's okay, but what's going on with Jameis Winston? Why aren't you putting him back there? Is there another reason? I mean, Drew Brees wanted Jameis Winston to start. I don't know. For Sunday night, a shock to no one, the Eagles beat the Packers. Packers put up a fight. Aaron Rodgers is hurt. I personally don't think he should start for the rest of the season, especially if they want to tank. But, Jordan Love could really use some playing time, but I guess not. I guess his time will have to come another day. Good God, they stink. And for Monday Night Football, I incorrectly picked the Colts to beat the Steelers. Listen, Saturday's not an NFL head coach. I mean, Ryan had a better half in the second half than the first, but I think it's time. It's nearly time for him when it's all over. I'll see you in Canton, buddy. I know it's not over yet, but it's coming close. No worries. At least you look more accurate than Russell Wilson this year. Keep that in mind. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts. I'll be giving my Week 13 picks very shortly, and stay tuned. Peace out.